I'm Andy. I'm here with Sergio from Graphext and also Sara from Tadatic. So welcome, Sara. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about a project that you've done with your team. But I wondered if you could maybe just first of all introduce who you work for, who are Tadatic, and what do you do?
Okay, hi Sergio, hi Andy. I work at Tadatic, which is a headhunting and consulting firm for customers in the IT industry, and it connects developers with demanded but cool projects that look for win-win situations. And I work at the marketing department.
Fantastic, fantastic. And maybe you want to tell us a little bit about the project that you've been working on. We know it's about the landscape of software development in Spain, but what kind of objectives did you have in mind with this project?
Okay, so during the past few years, we've seen an increase in the demand for technological profiles. So in Tadatic, we are looking for something to change the way we've done our selection processes so far. And because of this lack of supply for these profiles, we believe that looking for them in certain places and getting information about them might be relevant for us in order to improve our selection processes and also to share them with everyone, to bring some light in this community. So our main objective was to search for candidates and to help developers who might not know where to specialize, or to help CTOs and human resources department to help them know where to look for them.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to bring up my screen and I think we can see the data set here.
Yes.
So there's a lot of interesting variables in the data set. You've got the age of developers. I should say that there's about 2,000 developers in the data set here. Am I right?
Yes, so almost 2,000.
Each row is a developer, and we have their characteristics, so their gender, their experience in months, which province they live in, what framework they mostly develop in, and this kind of thing. So I wondered if you wanted to tell me a little bit about how you set up the project, Sara.
Sure. We started using Graphext as we thought it was like really interesting for us to get information from your tool. And the first thing that we did was to upload that data set. Then we created a project using the previous data set. And then we picked the type of analysis models, and we will click on the algorithm cluster. And then the variables that you've already mentioned, we put them as factors in this type of analysis. And regarding networks and clusters, we clicked on the KNNG in the first option, because we wanted to see in a graph different points connected in order to understand this huge amount of data and the really connection they had one data with another.
Fantastic. And then I think that's pretty much it. So we would just click continue here, and then it would take a couple of minutes to build a project, and we would end up with something like this. Does that look familiar?
Yes, here we can see the different clusters, as we can see in the screen. Blue is Android, iOS is in orange, and developers who use both operating system are in green.
Fantastic.
And, from this point, did you expect to see any specific relationship, or what was like the first thing that you checked out?
Okay, we wanted to see if there were any specific relationship between the province of residence of developers related to the technology, or if women tend to develop in certain technology, or yes, if older developers or younger developers are specializing in certain technology. We wanted to see anything related to that.
Okay.
Definitely. There's a really interesting point, actually, that I just quickly had a look at, picking up on the age of developers. So if we select Android developers here, and we've got the relative absolute drop-down set to relative, it looks to me the año nacimiento for anybody who doesn't speak Spanish. Maybe, Sergio, this is age. Am I right?
Well, yeah, birthday. Yeah.
Birthday, yeah. So it looks like Android developers are slightly younger than if we compare them with iOS developers. Is this something that you found, Sarah?
Yes, as we can see, Android developers represent around 50% of the sample, whereas iOS represent around 40%. We didn't find that surprising, as iOS is slightly older than Android. Therefore, it makes perfect sense that there are older developers in iOS.
And I was thinking also about two different things that I think that are interesting because are like really like a topic that everyone talks about. That did you find anything interesting about cities or provinces, and also about gender? There are taking those two variables. There is anything interesting that you find out here?
Yeah, sure. If we could go to insights.
Yeah.
We've known that, for example, in the relative, is it experience? But this is not relative. We are looking for relative. Here, I think it's no.
One at the top, yeah.
One higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
one higher.
that's my fault. I'm still practicing.
So, for example, here we can notice that in relative terms, there are more women in Valencia and Malaga. Well, in a lot of them, actually in Madrid as well, in Valladolid, which is truly interesting because in absolute terms, in any province, we can find more women than men. But there's been an increase in the past 4 to 5 years as more women are entering this sector. So if in some years from now we do this kind of analysis again, we might see a lot of difference regarding the gender of developers.
Definitely. Yes. One thing that is it is quite important to highlight is that yes, we might be expecting a difference in the future, but I think currently, if we have a look at the ratios of male to female developers, it is very, very weighted onto the male side. So I think it's 93% are male and 7% are female. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Andy, it could be interesting from insights, going and recreating that insight and going to compare just to see also like the absolute and relative terms. I think that is the one below.
Definitely. Yeah. So here, so if we just clicked on the play button there, and it takes us exactly back to the point of the analysis where Sara and her team created the insight.
I think that we're seeing now in absolute terms, and we can see there, in provinces, what you were telling that in absolute terms, like Madrid and Barcelona are like huge, and the differences are not that big in other ones, but in relative, we see that gender, there are more difference in gender here. We see that women in relative terms are more present. Good.
Fantastic.
And also regarding the age of the developers, we also find out interesting facts. For example, we can see it on Insights.
Yeah.
We need to look for the age of developers and the provinces of residence.
That one, the one on the top.
I think that's absolute. Maybe
this one, or
I think this one, yes, here. We can see that Malaga in purple and Valencia have younger developers than Madrid, for example, more younger developers than Madrid and Barcelona, which is which is really good to know if someone or some company might be looking for developers within our country. So I found it really, really interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, Sergio.
No, yeah, is that curiosity that have you thought that which would be the reason of that, or is something to study? I think that it's really interesting finding that maybe in other cities we have really young developers, and I don't know, maybe an hypothesis is that they move after that to bigger cities like Barcelona or Madrid. I don't know. That could be interesting to check.
Well, you're asking if I understand why this might be happening. More younger developers in. Well, I suppose this might be because Madrid and Barcelona are the places where most people come to study, but after they finish all studies, they might return to their families. So therefore, a student from Valencia who comes to Madrid, after he finishes or she finishes, she might return to her province.
It would be a really interesting study to carry this on as a result of the pandemic, because I imagine with this industry in particular, it's definitely something, you know, our team are doing it at Graphext, remote working. I'm here in England, you know, working for a company, a technology company in Madrid. And I wonder sort of whether or not if we did this study again in a couple of years' time, would there be a much wider range of provinces displayed in the data, because people aren't necessarily coming to the centers of Barcelona and Madrid to work. Yeah.
Probably, yeah, that's likely.
It's likely. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today, Sara. Unless there's anything else, I think I'll draw it to a close and just say that's a really interesting investigation you've done, and we can't wait to kind of see what more you and your team at Tadatic would like to be accomplishing with the tool at Graphext.
Okay, so thank you very much, and I just wanted to say a little more thing that really took our attention, that really caught our attention, which is that we thought that there were going to be more Android developers, as there are more Android devices in general, but they are really the same number of, more or less the same number. There is not a huge difference as we thought. I just wanted to share that with you. That might be interesting for you to know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just having a look here.
Yes, we thought that there would be a huge difference, but no, apparently there is not.
There is not. Yeah.
Yeah, this is often something that happens, isn't it? When you start an investigation with a data set, that you expect to find something, and then in reality, the data tells you something different. Okay, thank you very much, and
thank you very much.
And we'll speak again soon.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.